I'm a protester at the Tiananmen Square protest, 1989. Tiananmen Square is located in the middle of the Forbidden City, Beijing, China. Many protesters gathered in Tiananmen Square at the end of April 1989 to protest China's communist government. The protesters, who were mostly students, went on a hunger strike that lasted through June 5th, 1989. Many people died because of the hunger strike. The Beijing police even supported these protests. There was hesitation on the subject between Deng Xiaoping and Zhao Ziyang, who was the general secretary. On May 22, 1989, a helicopter dropped leaflets above Tiananmen Square telling the protesters they should leave the square immediately. For the first 3 weeks, protesters were standing strong and winning the protest. That changed when the military was called in and was pressured to end the protest and overwhelmed the protesters. When the army was called, the protesters used everyday objects, such as buses, to stop the army. There was a portrait of Mao Zedong, the eternal president of China, on the Forbidden City. Then, many protesters threw paint at the portrait of Mao Zedong. On May 30th, 1989, the protesters finished their statue of the goddess of democracy. The protesters continued until June 4th, 1989, when the Chinese military used force to remove the protesters from Tiananmen Square. One of the most iconic photos of this protest features the tank man who passively stood in front of the tanks, stopping them. Many editorials and congressmen pressed for George Bush to punish the Chinese government. This occurred when the U.S. government voted to oppose economic sanctions against China. The Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev said he was saddened by these events and wished that China had done political reforms. Tiananmen Square's name means Gate of Heavenly Peace, and there is now a monument dedicated to the people who died in the protests. The exact number of people who lost their lives may never be known, but there are estimates of hundreds to thousands of people who died in Tiananmen Square. Many people, depending on where they live in China, don't know about the event due to censorship by the communist government. This year on June 4th, it will be the 25th anniversary of this horrible